Erin Walsh, and today I am making sugar cream pie, which is a recipe that was handed down from my great-grandmother. The recipe died with her, but I've recreated it through some research online and some old church cookbooks. You can never go wrong with those. So the first thing that we're going to do is prepare a pie crust. You want a 9-inch pie crust pre-baked, and I have done those ahead of time. So I've got just a plain old 9-inch. You don't really want a deep dish pie crust. You want just the regular, maybe 1.5 inches deep. And then we start the custard. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by melting 4 tablespoons of butter in a saucepan. And you don't want to use non-stick for this because you're going to be using a whisk and you don't want to scratch that non-stick surface. So while this is melting, we also have over here on the side prepared 3/4 of a cup of white sugar mixed with 4 tablespoons of cornstarch. And then in this measuring cup here, we have 2¼ cups of heavy whipping cream. And then we are also going to need a teaspoon or so of vanilla extract. So we have our butter melted, and the stove is at medium heat. So we're going to add in our cream. Then we're going to whisk that together, kind of incorporate the milk or the cream in the butter. And I'm just using a little whisk because it's easier to get into the corners. You want to make sure that you don't let anything set along the edges because it will scorch. And then we're just going to mix in, this is the sugar and cornstarch mixture. And at this point, you want to continuously be stirring this. This is where the magic happens. And if you stop stirring, you will burn the bottom of the custard. So you want to keep stirring until it thickens. And at that point, we will add in the vanilla. So now it's bubbling and thickening up. You can see it gets really thick here. I'm going to turn down the heat because I don't want it to burn. And then I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of vanilla. At this point, I'm going to switch over to my spatula just so I can really work it and turn off the heat completely. Now it's good and thick, so we're going to take it over to the pie pan, or the pie crust, and we're going to pour the custard directly into that pie crust. And it is about the consistency of pudding right now. Then we're going to take the sugar, and this is just to make it look pretty. We'll take some plain old sugar here and sprinkle some sugar on top. And then we're going to turn on the broiler on high and get out a cookie sheet to put that pie pan on. And then we put it in the oven and let that sugar melt and caramelize on top to make it look all pretty. And you want to keep an eye on it here because it does happen really fast and it will burn, won't it? Yes. Okay, so once it's brown on top, you can set it aside and let it cool for about a half hour, 45 minutes. And then you have one of 2 options. You can eat it warm, as is, and it'll be a little more gooey and puddingy. Or you can put it in the fridge and chill it overnight, like I've done here, and it becomes more solid and more like a dense custard. So what I also do then before serving is I'll sprinkle some cinnamon and some nutmeg on top. It just gives it a little bit of a festive flavor. Grandma didn't do that, and she would not approve, I'm sure, but have to buck tradition a little bit, right? Add my own little twist. So there is my sugar cream pie.